Welcome to WoW, Women of Weed, a new interview series by Prosper Media dedicated to spotlighting the bold, brilliant, and amazing women shaping the cannabis industry. Cannabis has come a long way, but let's be real, it's still a male dominated space. Women in the industry often face double the pressure and half the recognition. That's why we're creating a space to change that. In each episode, we'll sit down with a woman making waves in weed, from executives and entrepreneurs to bud tenders, educators, and activists, and hear their unfiltered stories, how they got started, what keeps them going, and the impact they're making. Whether you're in the industry looking to join it or just love cannabis culture, this is where we honor the voices that often go unheard. Our first guest is someone we're incredibly proud to feature, Jennifer Gierum, the owner of Highlife Health in New Rochelle, New York, and we can't wait for you to hear her journey. This is WoW, Women of Weed. Let's get into it. Awesome. Thank you for joining us today, Jennifer. It's a pleasure to have you. You're our official first guest, and I couldn't think of a better person to have on board. So thank you for joining us today. I know how busy you are, so it's a special moment for us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really important that we have a platform to talk about things like this.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's just jump right into it. We'll get right from the beginning. Jennifer, let's just rewind a bit. What first drew you to the cannabis space?
Honestly, I saw how cannabis was helping my own family. As a
Okay.
mom, when you see your children struggling, you look for anything that will help them. My younger son broke his back when he was 13 years
Jeez.
old.
Oh, he's young.
And they were medicating him. He was put on gabapentin and all these medicines that made him lose focus, and he wasn't able to even go to school and focus.
Wow.
And it wasn't fixing the problem. So I chose alternative medicines to try and help him, to try and get him away from gabapentin, while medically they were trying to figure out what they could do to help him.
Okay.
So medicines actually made him a functioning human being without the THC component in it.
Right, right.
That's what first drew me to cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
And then when licensure became available and finding out that there was a social equity component available, I thought that this was what I was put on earth to do. It
Yeah.
was finally I would be given a platform where, as a parent, I can
Mm-hmm.
turn around and say, these things will help your children. Not that
Wow.
I would say give THC to a minor, but there are other parts of the plant that can definitely help. So being able to help on that level and knowing that we could roll this out to the mainstream was interesting to me. It was something that I definitely wanted to pursue. I never thought it would actually come to fruition.
Yeah.
That was kind of like winning the lottery, so to speak.
Hmm.
To be given that opportunity is
Definitely.
huge.
Yeah.
We have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. No doubt about that. It's awesome though. Kind of how you were, not to say you were against cannabis, but you weren't really supporting it either until you saw like a personal need for it, the medical side of the plant, which is awesome. That's I think how we'll really change the stigma is when people realize like you're not going to be waking up with a hangover or anything. Like this is something that elevates people's lives. No pun intended.
Absolutely.
So tell us, Jen, did you have any hesitations or challenges when you made the leap into the industry?
Every day, we have tons of challenges. From the beginning, it was just trying to figure out what to do.
Right.
In my personal life, I have a guru for everything. Like if I don't know how to do something, I know somebody who knows how to do it. In this space, there's nobody who knows how to navigate this market in New York. I don't care who you are. The market is so new. There is
Hmm.
no expert.
Yeah.
And you can't take what has happened in other states and apply it to New York. It's apples and oranges. The challenges are fierce, and lots of decisions are being made, and they're being made by people who aren't in the industry. They're
Yeah.
sitting on the outside looking in.
Hmm.
And when you don't confer with people who are in the trenches, it causes problems. So
Definitely.
trying to figure out even what the right thing to do is versus the wrong thing to do,
Hmm. Hmm.
OCM can't even provide clear guidance on
Oh
that.
no.
So you kind of have to use common sense in between, and you have to interpret it, you know, safely. You have
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
take everything with a grain of salt and err on the side of caution right
Yeah.
now instead of taking big leaps and bounds. And I
Right.
see a lot of people making these big leaps and bounds, and it's
Hmm.
concerning
Yeah.
because it's too soon. It's
Yeah.
too soon for any of that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's smart to kind of pace yourself when you grow, especially in an uncertain field like you mentioned. New York is a whole different beast compared to the other states, and we're already kind of seeing some of the problems that are arising from having people that are on the outside looking in managing the whole thing.
Absolutely. I went to a board meeting last week because somebody was challenging the proximity rules, which is
Okay.
absolutely insane to me.
Yeah.
The rules are in place for a reason, and honestly, they need to be even scaled back further. So the fact that OCM is even granting hearings on, waivers for these
Yeah.
proximity protections is insane because
Absolutely.
they're overcrowding spaces in cities and suburban areas that don't have all of this need, and there's huge investments coming in, and these people are never going to see a return on these investments.
Oh
And
man.
but there's nobody saying stop. Let's
Yeah.
pump the brakes. Everybody's trying to just license more and roll out more, because the system and licensing has been a little flawed in New York, a
Hmm.
lot flawed. um, but you can't keep pushing forward and if you don't fix what's already broken. And I feel like they're in a race to roll more out without assessing where we are, and that is major. That's a major problem.
Yeah, it does seem like a major problem. It feels like a lot of dispensaries aren't even expecting this. So it's going to be a big hurdle coming up in the near future for them.
Absolutely. No,
Hmm.
there's so many challenges and navigating the new industry, even the tax rules. There is no guidebook that tells you when you get your license how you have to handle your finances. So from like getting my license, I was thrown out of my bank, a bank that I had banked with in many different business ventures
Hmm.
since I'm a child. My first savings account was with this
Wow.
institution,
Hmm.
and they will not bank with me anymore. And
Wow.
so, navigating a space, finding a bank that would even take our money,
Even out of that.
and
Okay.
then learning all the tax ramifications that aren't real because of Section 2080.
Hmm.
OCM didn't give me any of that information and say, hey, as a licensee, you may not know this because nobody knows this.
Yep.
And these are challenges that you're going to face.
Yeah.
Nobody's held his hand. So
Wow.
fortunately, I do have resources around me that are smart enough to help me navigate those challenges, and
Yeah.
I am extra cautious. But others in the industry have not been, and I fear for them being able to survive, and
Hmm.
especially when they're trying to dump more locations on top. Basically, the way I look at it in life and in any business model, the cream
Hmm.
always rises to the top.
Yeah.
So if you are managing effectively and within the rules, it might be challenging, but at
Hmm.
the end of the day, you're gonna be standing tall.
It'll pay off, definitely.
And I feel like all the dominoes are gonna fall around, and really smart venture capitalists are gonna move in, and they're gonna
Mm.
take advantage of that situation. And my fear is that they could push out the real people that the programs are working for.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that happening too. They're just looking for like opportunities to buy cheap after it's already built out, right?
Absolutely. So
Mm.
these stores are being built, they're built and they've been operational. Then they realize their rents are too high. Or so you have these companies, they'll come in, they buy the building. They make these other, instead of just renting a space, fine. Now they have a management company that's managing an apartment building just so they can have the space
Wow.
in the
Wow.
bottom for the dispensary.
Hmm.
And it totally ruins why the dispensary was there in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
Now it just becomes big corporations and greed, and
That's
it
what it
takes
is.
away from the true meaning of what we're doing.
Exactly, exactly. You mentioned earlier, like you have customers that are so grateful for your like service that they come back, they bring you gifts, right? But you actually never hear things like that in like actual corporate, like these big MSO stores. It's like like you said, they just want the money and that's all they care about. So it's actually awesome to see like High Life Health is just stays true and actually cares about their people.
We really do. So I
Amazing.
work here every single day. I'm an owner
Wow.
operator.
Wow.
There are many stores that you walk in, the owner's never there.
Yeah.
My suppliers know they can pick up the phone and say, hey, we have a wonderful crop of this, but we have a limited supply. Will you take it? And I'm the one who's picking up the phone. Not only that, I pick up the phone, I'm here, I'm receiving the product, and then I'm helping my people sell it on the floor. I work here with my husband and my two children who are in
Yeah.
college.
Hmm.
This is transforming our lives,
Yeah.
and we're hoping to help transform everybody's lives around us and the community. We need it. We don't want smoke shops on every corner. We don't want the narrative where degenerates. I can't even tell you the comments that, like, I don't even go on Facebook or social media or anything anymore because
Yeah.
I know who we are. But it's really hard to change the narrative when you have
Hmm.
these bigger companies coming in that don't share the same vision or the same goals for the industry.
Yeah.
So we're going to just stand firm on who we are. And I know that our customer base, our
Hmm.
our community, they come
Yeah.
in here every day because we help them. And we
Definitely.
teach them, we're educating them that, okay, now start slow, try this. How did you feel when you took that?
Hmm.
All right, so that's not for you. Maybe you need to try this. And
Yeah.
we've been able to dial in our customers where we actually impact their lives, where they're
Yeah.
not spending tons of money on drugs that are destroying their liver and their kidneys. They're eating a emulsified gummy to help them get rest instead of taking an Ambien,
There we go.
and had the most restful sleep of their life. So
Yeah.
when you truly do things that impact people,
Hmm.
they come back over and over and
Uh-huh.
over again. And they
Definitely.
talk to their friends about it. And that's how cannabis is going to grow in this space. Not by
Oh.
big MSO, not by people sitting in office making crazy rules and regulations. It's by
Hmm.
that engagement and by truly
Engagement.
educating. Yep.
The community, you're building the community, and it's the word of mouth referrals that can't be beat. And then you mentioned earlier, like you are actually positively impacting so many people. Like you had someone the other day come in and say they haven't had a good night's sleep in like 20 years until after they met you or something. Amazing. Like you don't really hear those stories too often.
So I will say that there are so many people, the older generation, like my
Yep.
parents, for example.
Yeah.
My own mother wanted to know why I want to be a dope dealer. And she had issues with it from time to time when
Yeah, I
I'm,
can see that.
out. And now the fact that I'm, turning my children into drug dealers too, it's a tough pill for my own mother to swallow.
Yeah,
And she
yeah.
still will not take any products because she believes that if she takes anything with a cannabinoid in it, that she's going to
A
go
druggie or
straight to crack.
something. Oh man, yeah. A lot of people think it's that gateway drug, but it's the opposite. All like
It's
alcohol is
the
more of a
opposite.
gateway drug.
This stuff actually will make your life better when used. Anything needs to be used appropriately.
Appropriately,
And there
moderation.
are times too, if you really want to shut your brain off, I need to do it on a regular basis. There's so much coming at me, and this industry
Hmm.
is so fluid. And before this, was my son's health problems and family, and you name it, COVID,
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Um, Everybody needs something to help them recenter, refocus, and
Hmm.
be the
Hmm.
best possible version of themselves.
Yep.
And we have products that help you do that. And
There
I'm
we
not going
go.
to ignore it.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly,
just going to,
exactly.
it's not snake oil, it's
No, it
real. There's
works.
a
It
real,
works.
yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny you say that because like growing up I came from like a similar background where my mom was like, no, like, that's a drug dealer, like that those are drugs, they're bad, like and then I remember I'm telling her about like, look, like it's an actual medicinal plant, like they even have medicinal like cards that you can get if you need it like medically. And she kind of brushed it off and then I took her to the doctors and like right there in big writing is like we prescribe medicinal like licenses, like ask our doctors about it. And my mom was just like, oh wow, like if the doctor I go to is, like this might be something. So
Exactly.
stigma is
We
definitely
have a lot
changing.
who actually do send customers our way.
Wow, there
And
you
people
go.
come in with like a note from their doctor, and they'll say like, CBN. I need CBN. My doctor says I need CBN.
Wow, and you guys have that, eh?
Yeah, so the narrative is changing. Everybody really does want help.
Hmm. Yeah.
We are in we're in the suburbs. So we tend to have a little bit more elderly community who have a little bit more income to spend. So they're just more educated in general as to life and medicine and things that are available. And they have a little bit of extra income to spend where they're not relying on an insurance plan to, reimburse them. So
Yeah.
it is, I mean, it's an expensive way to, help yourself, but it's still a lot cheaper than
Yeah.
all of the drugs that are destroying your body.
Exactly. Cheaper and like better for you in the long run. Like those drugs are just like a band-aid over the symptom where like cannabis can actually make a difference.
Yeah, pharmaceuticals are the real drugs of
There you
today
go.
that we need to get away from.
Those are the real drugs. 100%. I can't agree with that more.
A
Hmm.
true fact. So,
Yep.
1906,
Yep.
cannabis was first used in pill form.
Wow.
1906.
Over 100
They
years.
knew
Hmm.
far back that this could help you medically. And the fact that it's been pushed away since
Hmm.
1906 is pretty scary. It makes you wonder what was controlling this narrative and how it
Hmm.
got so.
Yeah, exactly. We kind of shifted away from like natural things that work to like everything has to be made in a lab and processed and all that good stuff. Wow. All right. So Jen, what would you say was your first like I belong here moment in the cannabis world?
I'm sorry?
What would you say was your first like I belong here moment in the cannabis world?
Definitely. The day we opened,
Mhm.
honestly, leading up to it was so scary.
Yeah, I bet.
And I wasn't making the right choices for my family or for us that, from a business perspective. Because it's so challenging every single time, I read another bulletin from OCM or, I get quarantine products because
Hmm.
people are inverting, from the state. And there are so many things that go into it. But at the end of the day, I'll never forget, we were probably open less than 24 hours. And I was listening to my children talk to elderly customers.
Okay.
And I looked at them like they were talking to my own mom and
Oh,
dad.
that's beautiful. Yeah.
They were educating and trying to change the way that these elderly people thought about our products.
Hmm.
And what they said was so true, and it resonated with me. And it
Hmm.
was the narrative that I've been trying to teach to them their whole life was, if you find something that helps you, you stick with it and
Yeah.
you weed out the things that aren't good for you, and you work on what works for you. What works for everybody might not work for you. And this
Yeah.
is not just about medicine. This
Mhm.
is just about life. Like if
Yeah.
something's not working for you, switch it up.
100%.
And to hear them try and explain how everything helped them and how that they thought it might translate for that customer, let me know like what we're doing is changing people's lives.
Yeah.
We're not we're not, so my goals coming into the business were to do that, but to see that actually happen
Hmm.
and to flip a customer, and now they come on a regular basis, the people that I'm talking about, it just let me know that this is what we need to be doing because we're all passionate about it in the
Yeah.
same way,
Yeah.
because it's helped us each individually for our own reasons. Like for me,
Hmm.
it's focus. For my youngest son, it was pain that he lives
Yep.
in every single day because of a
Yeah.
physical condition.
Hmm.
And then for my older son, it's major anxiety. Um, and one plant used different parts of it
Hmm.
can treat all of us and make our lives better.
Exactly.
So I know that what we're doing, it's worthwhile. It's
Absolutely.
challenging to the least, but at the
Hmm.
end of
No
the
doubt.
day, that lets me know that we're on the right track.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I can only imagine like the feeling like having your vision and then seeing like your family, like your son, basically enacting that vision, making it a reality. like happening before your eyes. It must have been an amazing time
And they're young too. So watching them be able to step up in such an
going into their own.
uncharted and
Hmm.
having conviction about it. You
Yeah,
know, they have their own insecurities just being young and inexperienced. And to be able to, truly with education change somebody else's views
hmm,
and experience and make them be open enough to even try it lets
yeah,
me know that we're definitely on the right track, and it probably is what's going to make us stand out from everybody else because everybody here truly wants to help.
yeah. I think so. I think that's going to be a big like differentiator is that you guys sound like you actually care versus like buy this, this, and this, and like next.
Yeah, next time they come in, we're like, how did it feel? How did it
Yeah,
work?
you
We're
remember
looking
them.
and saying, okay, now we can give you this and we can tweak that, or maybe you want to mix the two things, or stay away from that. Like, that's
Yeah,
so important.
it's so
You
important.
can't have people walk into a store and go straight to a kiosk and look at products that they've never ever seen before and
Yeah,
expect them to buy something that's going to work for them.
yeah, exactly. They
It
might
does.
have a bad experience. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see it. I see it in the industry. Like, you go into New York City, there are some stores, they have
Hmm.
one person at a counter and five
Oh,
kiosks.
wow.
And the one person at the counter is not even educated in cannabis. They don't
Mm.
know the difference between like this terp or that terp or what a terp even is.
Yeah, it's big.
And, and how are you selling products that are, you don't know, the customers don't know what they're buying. They're
Yeah.
buying a description, and that interaction is so important
Hmm.
because, like anything, if a medicine doesn't work for you, you go back to your doctor and he says, okay, that's not for you, let's change it. It's the same thing with this, and getting people to take initiative on their own and ownership of that, and learning that they do have the power. You just have to communicate to us what's going on and we'll help you.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. Just kind of that's how you're gonna change the stigma. And honestly, like not a lot of stores like have that next level of customer service where you care about what they're in there for. And then following up when they come in, that's just like taken to another level. So I love that you guys do that. Like you really stand behind like your mission statement. So that's great.
Yeah, we love customers. They make every day worthwhile. Like, we're tired navigating this
I know.
business, and I work from 9 in the morning
Hmm.
until 9 at night, close the store, countless hours on the way to work. And then when I get home, I'm in bed, we're in bed. At the end of the day, helping one person that day made
Yeah,
it worth it.
100%. Yeah, you know you made a difference in someone's life. Like
Absolutely.
you mentioned earlier about this the customer that brought you a gift from Jamaica. Like
Yeah.
they're really thinking about you. You know what I mean? Like they're having the time of their life on vacation, and they're like, I want to bring back something for Jen. Like that's how you know you did something in their life. Like amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. We're really trying. It's challenging, and there's days when, you know, not everybody wants to be educated either.
true. There's people like that. Yeah.
There are people who don't want the information and feel like, I've been smoking weed my whole life. You are not going to tell me anything.
Yeah, they know
And I
what they
want to,
want.
really, well, what was your drug dealer's percentage? Like, what lab were they using when you bought, your weed? Like, you were smoking something you didn't even know what you were smoking. Now we're
That's
telling you
literally
what
what it
you're
was.
smoking.
Exactly,
Um,
exactly.
you, you can't educate everybody, and that's okay. We don't
That's
we
true.
don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to.
So learning, who wants the assistance and who doesn't.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's you got to be able to read a book and like say like, do they want my help or not? But that's good though. Um, so as a woman in the industry, like, have you ever felt underestimated or overlooked?
All the time.
Yeah.
Just for the simple fact that I even have my family who works here. So my husband
Mm,
is out in the front, and he's
yeah.
kind of our sales guru, and he truly is like our R&D. He tests like every product under the sun
Very
because
cool.
he truly wants to know what we are selling to
Hmm. Hmm.
everybody.
That's
We
important.
kind of joke about that, but um, everybody thinks he's the owner,
Okay.
and it's incredible because we have touted, and the city has been put me in the forefront to, because they're very proud that we're led, by a woman. And, but even in our own store, people automatically won't talk to me. They go
Oh,
straight to him
yeah, yeah.
because they feel like it's his store. And I
Mhm.
love seeing like when people are like, wait, it's your wife's? What? She's in the back ordering and doing everything, and you're out here selling. Yeah. It's a little bit different. But
No doubt.
you know, I had the opportunity to try and change that narrative, and that's what we're going to do. So, how am I going to combat that? Right? I'm
Hmm.
going to run the most efficient dispensary that there is in New York,
Love it.
and then people are going to say, "Hey, you know what? Maybe we should give maybe more women more opportunities because they're
Amazing.
the ones who are really running them anyway."
Yeah, lead by example. I love that. And I feel like you're already like more than halfway there. Like you're on the right track for sure. So that's great. Now, Jen, what would you think needs to change in order to create more opportunities for women in cannabis?
Uh, so right now, I
Hmm.
mean, right now in New York, so much work needs to be done um, just on the markets alone. The focus really at this point, I know that, New York is very big on, giving back to the people who were disproportionately affected by cannabis laws and everything. And unfortunately, in that rollout, they made a lot of mistakes as well. They buried a lot of people who didn't have business acumen, and they put them in situations where they're stuck with these loans and build outs that the business isn't, supporting. And um, so I think honestly, we need to stop focusing on categories in this business
Oh,
at
okay.
this time and really focus on what's happening.
Yeah,
Once
because
we focus on reappropriating things and getting everything to be running well,
yeah,
then we can look at equity again. But
yeah.
right now, there's what's out here is such a mess.
Hmm.
Focusing on, getting women more involved or people who have been negatively impacted involved. It's those people are already in queue. We know who you are. You know what I mean? And those opportunities should be the next ones to come up. So instead of letting a big MSO or somebody corporate get a license, give it to the next C person or the next card person in line, but give them the resources that they need to get it done,
Yeah,
whether it be a council of just other retailers that are in the same situation that can provide them good guidance, but to make sure they're sustainable. So to license more women and roll them out and not have them be successful,
hmm,
it's pointless.
yeah,
It doesn't
exactly.
solve. So what I know that there are some coalitions and women that are trying to band together and create, women-based coalitions and then equity-based coalitions, and all those things will help. But ultimately, we need to focus on fixing everything the way it is,
Right.
and then women will band together. We always do,
Yeah.
right? We'll find a way and use each other as a resource,
Yeah.
and that's how the industry is going to grow and provide more, opportunity for women by
Yeah.
us supporting each other. I have
Definitely.
another woman dispensary that is going to be opening up in my town. And
Amazing.
this one, I think it checks every box. It's veteran owned, women owned,
Hmm.
and I believe there was a conviction somewhere in there as well related to cannabis. So you're checking all three boxes. I've gone by the location, I never see anybody there. But you would think that another woman who's coming into this town would have stopped by and said, "Hey, I'm opening a business next to you. What are challenges you're facing? How can we work together? How
Yeah,
can we make this, a space work for both of us?" I already have some great ideas and I've tried to, reach out. Um,
that's great.
I don't know if that person ever will because New York is also creating a very competitive market space.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at one point, being a woman is gonna it's not gonna matter. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
disproportionately, a card. what is it, a card applicant. It's
Yeah,
not going to make you or break you at that point. The bottom line is allegiances are going to be formed. It's going to cross those lines, and it shouldn't. But from what I'm seeing, I'm not getting the outreach that I should. So that
mm,
leads me to believe that the people coming in are coming in with a more competitive um, mindset. And so then that puts me more on a defense, right? Where I'm not going to support you as much. I'm going to figure out how I can grow my business
of course.
faster, stronger, and better.
Yeah,
Um, I don't want to get to that space. So
definitely.
hopefully, even within my own little community, we can reel everybody in and work together.
Yeah,
Because in order, this is bigger than me or anybody else in this industry. I don't care who you are. And at a certain point, we all are going to have to make changes for the greater good of everybody. Even if I have to fight a little bit off, I'm willing to do that for the greater good. But it's really hard to tell somebody who's been fighting for 2 years just to try and get their store open and who's been looking at me like, well, why is she open and I'm not open?
yeah, that's
No,
fair.
that's not, I have nothing to do with your own narrative
Exactly.
and but how do I flip that person to try and work with me?
Yeah, that's a good question. And it definitely looks like you're coming at it from like a let's collaborate, like there's enough for everybody. But then all these new guys are coming in and they're like I gotta take a share from here, from here, from here.
They want,
And
they want to shut me down. They want to
yeah,
destroy my business.
yeah,
So, and
exactly.
that's not going to happen. And the two of us together, or the three of us, right now, I think there's three that will be open by the end of the year. So I have two competitors coming in when I've been the only game in town.
Hmm.
But we're prepared. Our
Yep,
customers think about us when they go on vacation.
there you go.
So,
That's a game changer. Hmm.
but we can do things collaboratively, even in this city, for this city, that will help change the narrative, and it will keep all of us in business for a very long time.
Exactly.
um, it's just, you have to see that's capitalism, right? So
Hmm.
aside from this whole industry, there's also that component that you just hope that who comes into the space shares
Hmm.
your same thoughts and goals.
Ideally, yeah, exactly. Now that makes a lot of sense. What would you say is the work that you're most proud of up to date?
Our build out and being able to build in such a challenging time. I hear the story every day of people saying, we're not sustainable. I'm going to have to close. I
Oh,
put my life savings into this building and this business, and now, we can't make our payroll. And I definitely can't make my tax payments because the tax structure is just totally not real.
yeah,
And so to be able to navigate small and be in a space in my community that has been in my husband's family for over 60 years and start transforming that space into a new space, a beautiful space where the community can come and feel unstigmatized and have real conversations and a safe place to come, and then to be able to grow. So we actually took over. Next door to my shop was an actual
yeah.
flower shop that
Okay.
had been here for 20 years.
Yeah.
And we had outgrown their space
Hmm.
because Nourisha was going through a huge revitalization. And so their business increased.
Okay.
And we needed the extra space because the community was flocking to us. So we actually bloomed into the flower shop, I
Yeah.
say, and to see that transformation, that physical transformation
Hmm.
on the outside of the transformation that's actually happening in each and every one of our customers.
Hmm.
Like they're seeing on the outside what's happening on their insides,
Yeah, it's a cool way to
which is,
look at it.
yeah, it makes me very proud when I roll up every day and I see the whole corner now is us. And
Hmm. Hmm.
we actually are a destination and a vessel for people. And 1 year ago, our space wasn't even built yet. It wasn't
Wow.
completed. So we're just shy of our 1 year. So to be able to provide, that space, to our community, and to watch the improvements. We've contributed tax dollars to the community, and we're going to start to see those benefits, and I'm going to hold them accountable for, because
Nice.
this is my community too.
Yeah.
We donated the Christmas tree last year,
Very nice.
because I felt it fitting, that we donate something living, to
Yeah,
the
it's really
community.
nice.
And that's something that we want to do every year. And the fact that the city allowed us to, that the Chamber of Commerce supported us, because there's not every city um, in New York is supportive of the cannabis businesses
That's true.
within them.
Yeah.
So to be able to truly impact our community and know that even one of the other games coming into town, they were
Hmm.
able to get a grant because of their status for the city. All these things are making a difference. So, I mean, we're going to keep plugging along.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, it's coming along though. How would you say you stay motivated or inspired when it comes to getting through all this? Like, this is a tough industry, especially New York.
So, my motivation obviously is my family. Like, I have to pay for college somehow. Ultimately, I mean, at the end of the day, it's that our whole family has shifted to this business. So my husband left the industry that he was in. He was a car dealer, and successful. So we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, to navigate this space, financially, and because we truly believe that it's something that will benefit everybody,
Yeah,
not just provide a livelihood for our family.
yeah,
Um, so, just keeping that in mind every single day, and the days when it's super hard, realizing that like one day my kids are going to explain to, hopefully, my grandchildren, or, whomever, that, we were a part of this, and we helped build this, and
yeah,
we helped state and the city do it the right way,
yeah,
and develop these programs that help people on a regular basis.
yeah.
My apologies.
No worries.
That's actually the buildings commissioner right
Oh.
now from the city of Rochelle calling. We're in contact all the time. It's
Yeah,
we're not just a dispensary here. We actually have outreach with the community on a daily basis too.
very nice.
So those things, knowing that they're on board, trying to change the narratives as well, is helpful.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, that's great. And like you mentioned, like you did it with your family, and then I mean, the work speaks for itself, right? When customers come back and bring you gifts, like you know you're doing the right thing. Like to be honest with you, like that's unheard of in like the cannabis industry. Like that level of customer service is like wow, like you guys are doing something really good over there.
Thank you. No, we're really trying.
Hmm.
We do a lot of times, we'll have customers that too we've helped and now they linger. And this is just a place for them to come every day to talk to people who actually care about what they're feeling. And so we are different. We are a community space. And, hopefully that's going to make the difference,
I
and,
think
and
so.
give us a lot of sustainability and help us
Hmm.
to grow, and
Yeah.
then help us to change that narrative for others, and others will follow suit and say, you know what, this is really working for
Hmm.
Highlife.
Yeah.
Maybe we should try and educate and do, like, it was funny. One day I put out, like, on our Insta, like, would anybody like to do a rolling class? Because I don't know how to roll.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people are like, do you roll? And I'm like, no. And they're like, you own a dispensary, you should roll. And I'm like, but just simple things like that to provide, a workspace and a workshop to say, hey, next Wednesday at 7 p.m., we're setting up a table in the corner. If you want to learn how to roll, you can learn how to roll. Like,
Yeah.
who
That's
else is doing
cool. Literally,
this
no one.
space? So,
I love that.
things like that are going to make the difference.
I think so. That's because like that's like one of those like growing up, we always had like a friend that was really good at rolling. So it's like no, we didn't really learn, right? Like it's his job.
Right?
Exactly. But like now you kind of made like your store like the friend for everybody. Like, hey, like we'll teach you. Like we got you.
Exactly.
So
You
that's
want to
pretty
learn,
cool.
know about it? Neither do we. Let's figure it out.
No, I love that. That actually taken it to another level. It's like beyond customer service at that point. Um, and who's one woman in cannabis that you might admire?
Hmm. I don't have any yet.
You're gonna
I
be that
haven't
lady.
I haven't met a strong enough person personally that that I could chalk up.
That's
And
fair.
for that, I don't have any males either
There you go.
that I think are that far ahead of the game either,
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
most of the males I know are just concerned about the capitalistic side of it. And a
Right.
lot of the males in this industry came from the illicit market.
Yeah, that's true.
So the mindset is just very different. So I really haven't found that one individual in this industry that I feel is a motivating factor for
Hmm.
me, at least.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've been looking for that kind of guidance since the day, and that role model, like
Yeah.
in everything you do in life, right? Even when you're deciding what career you want to do, you think of that one individual, like, wow, I
Yeah.
really would like to be like them when
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah, that's true.
I haven't that driving force in this industry.
Hmm.
It's made it challenging, to not have somebody's footsteps to follow. But I can guarantee you that she is out there. It could be me, it could be somebody else. It just hasn't had the industry's too new for anybody to rise to the
Yeah.
top and be that leader.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's been male dominated for so long that like now women are kind of getting into it. So it's just a matter of time though. But like I could definitely see you being one of those pillars, Jen, for sure.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
100%. And now we just have like our rapid fire five fun questions segment of the interview. So what would you say is your favorite strain right now?
Mm, we actually just got it in. Um, it's the Tyson.
Okay.
It
Those
just
Mike
came out. They
bites.
just Mike Tyson.
Yeah, yeah.
It's produced by Flower House.
Okay.
It's a New York state grower, obviously, who from day one was providing, you know, good products, steady products, consistent products to me. And in the year that we've been doing business, um, have really expanded their grow, their products and lines, and the strains that are coming out of there are really incredible. But they did develop a strain for Tyson. It's a really high THC sativa.
Very cool.
That's great.
Hmm.
But what I'm finding is there are so many micro grows that
Hmm.
I have to reserve judgment
Fair
because
enough.
there's a lot of stuff that I don't know about that
Yeah.
we're starting to gain access to
Hmm.
that are really high. So what I did notice, so strain wise, not so much, but one thing I do want people in this industry to do is stop chasing THC numbers. We have customers who come in and they want like very high THC and don't care about terps or anything. And those customers just aren't educated.
Hmm.
So we're not doing our job by selling them what they ask for. But if you have customers, that's what they want, you
That's what
give
they
it to
want.
them. But
Exactly.
our job to say, when you get THC that high, you're stripping out all of the good things that might affect your body or your mind,
Hmm.
and you're only getting a head high. So we're trying to navigate our customers away from that head high and get a
From
lower
all the
THC
effects.
perks,
Yeah.
and it's going to affect your body instead of just your brain.
Yeah, and you get more
Um,
benefits that way, right?
Absolutely. So I would encourage everybody to stay away from strains and THC numbers at this time and
Hmm.
really look at the product as a whole and what's in the product as a whole. And you can go to any dispensary and look at a COA. And if you don't know what a COA is, you could ask what is a COA?
For our listeners, what is a COA?
Okay, so it's a certificate of authority, and it
There you go.
basically has all your testing results.
Wow, that's advanced.
And every product that you buy in the state of New York, I happen to have one here that I can kind
Perfect.
of show you,
Hmm.
but there's a barcode on the back of here.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
And if you scan that, it brings up the actual lab report on the
Wow.
product and all of the test results from heavy metals to pollens to pollutants. It's all listed on there, as well as your THC breakdown and your terps. So that tool anybody can use. They just have to be it has to be explained
Yeah, true.
what you're looking at. And when you start evolving with your usage, you start to look at those numbers and you can really tailor what it is that the effects that you're looking for. So that's what I would tell people to stay away from the strain so much because it's such an emerging marketplace, and don't let that be your determining factor of what you purchase.
Yeah,
Um, start to look at what you want to feel, and then ask your bud tender to provide you a product that will get you there,
there you
because we
go.
can do that.
Yeah, it's true. That's proper. It's perfect approach. And when it comes to your go-to munchies, would you go sweet or salty?
Definitely salty.
There you go. There you go. And then your
Salty.
favorite form of, or the favorite way to like consume. You prefer like edibles, a pre-roll? What do you like?
It's lately it's been the THC infused beverages.
Nice.
Um, they really, you do not get a hangover, and I get just the right amount of chill from them. And they're convenient, and now we keep them in the fridge right behind us, so
So
it's
they're
extra
cold.
convenient.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. People love that, I bet. Nice.
It's I actually was in a bar in Florida recently, and they had hemp versions of the THC drinks that we have.
Wow.
So they are becoming very mainstream.
Yeah, they're catching on. Very nice. Beauty. So that kind of wraps up our interview. Was there any last minute thoughts that you'd like to share? Any plugins? Like the floor is yours.
I just want to thank you for giving me the
My
platform
pleasure.
to be able to, speak my truth.
Hmm.
I know that this industry is very tough, and not everybody is having the same experience that I'm having.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
was lucky I received early approval. I had a city who was supporting me because there were so many illegal shops here.
Hmm.
They knew opening a legal one would get OCM down here. So they helped push to get me open in the beginning. And they also pumped the brakes to make sure what we were dealing with right after I opened, to make sure that who was legal and who wasn't legal,
Yeah.
because the city didn't even know. Um, and so I'm really grateful for all of those opportunities, and
Hmm.
I'm grateful for what you're doing, because I feel
Thank you.
that the more we highlight the challenges and what's actually going on, the better the industry will progress, and the
I agree.
sooner we'll get all of this cleared up.
Yeah, I agree. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to seeing you be like a pillar in the community. You're definitely going to be, unfortunately, there's no one to look up to right now, but give it a little bit more time and people will be saying Jennifer Gierum of Highlife Health, someone they look up to and someone they saw paved the way for them a little bit.
I appreciate that. I hope that is the case.
I feel like it, but time will tell, right? Um,
Right?
um, and that's a wrap of this episode of Wow, Women of Weed. Huge thank you to our guest, Jennifer Gierum, the owner of Highlife Health, for sharing her story, insights, and inspiration. These are the conversations that move the culture forward, and we're just getting started. If you found value in this episode, please like, comment, and share with someone who should hear it. And hey, tag a woman in weed that you think we should feature next. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube at Prosper Media. Stay in the loop on future episodes. Until next time, keep blazing trails, breaking barriers, and supporting the women of weed. Thanks for watching.